All right, so let's dive right into something I'm sure has crossed your mind at some point. Security. By 2025, the average benefit's projected to be $1,976 a month. And for those on SSDI, it's $580. And I'm betting you're probably wondering if that's what you.
Well, we've got all these reports, straight from the Social Security Administration, and our experts here to break it all down for us.
Yeah, those numbers can be pretty tempting.
Yeah, right.
It's like a lot of things, they don't always tell the whole story. Just focusing on that average benefit can be kind of misleading.
Yeah, I always hear about how averages can be tricky, but
Yeah.
can you explain what that means, like in this case?
Sure. So think about it this way. Imagine you're looking at house prices, and in this neighborhood, most homes cost around $300,000. But then there's like this one mega mansion worth $5 million. That one outlier is going to like really inflate the average price, right? Make it seem like every house is worth a fortune. And it's kind of the same with Social Security benefits. A few really high or really low payments can totally skew that average. Okay, I see what you mean. So looking at just the average could give me a false idea of what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to remember these are just averages, and your benefit's going to depend on your own situation. Yeah.
Okay, so if those average amounts aren't the whole story for me, then what is?
Well, the Social Security Administration calculates your benefits based on your earnings record. How much you've paid into the system over the years you've worked. The more you've earned and contributed, the higher your benefit could be.
So it's not like some random number they come up with. It's actually based on like my work history.
Exactly. And it also takes into account things like when you decide to start claiming benefits.
Oh,
Generally speaking, the longer you wait to claim, the higher your monthly benefit will be.
makes sense. Delaying gratification pays off, huh?
Yeah.
Even with Social Security.
Now remember, those averages we were talking about. Well, those already include that projected 2.5% COLA increase for 2025. So that increase is already baked into those numbers.
That's good to know. But even with that adjustment, I'm guessing these numbers are always changing, right? Oh, absolutely. Thousands of people become eligible for benefits every single day, while others pass away. So it's a very dynamic system. That's why it's super important to stay informed and, really understand how these factors might affect your own benefit calculation.
Speaking of calculations, you mentioned earlier that those average factors were gross benefit amounts.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
Well, it just means that those figures represent the benefit amount before any deductions are taken out. So the amount you actually get each month, your net benefit will probably be lower.
Deductions.
Yeah.
What kind of deductions are we talking about?
One of the most common is the Medicare Part B premium. In 2025, it's estimated to be around $185 a month. So that'll be automatically deducted from your Social Security check.
Wait, so if we subtract that $185 Medicare deduction from the average SSDI benefit of $580, that leaves only $13,395.
You got it. And for the average retirement benefit, that $1,976 goes down to $791 after that Medicare deduction.
Wow, those deductions really make a difference. It shows how important it is to look beyond those initial average figures. Absolutely. And remember, Medicare Part B is just one potential deduction. There could be others, depending on your situation.
Like what? What other deductions should people be aware of? Okay, so besides Medicare Part B, what other deductions could affect my Social Security?
Well, it depends on your situation. You might have federal taxes withheld from your benefits.
Taxes on Social Security. Really?
Yep, it's true. Not everyone has to pay taxes on their benefits.
Yeah.
But if your income is above a certain level, part of your Social Security might be taxable.
Huh, okay, I'll have to look into that. Any other deductions I should know about?
In some cases, you might have garnishments, for things like unpaid debts or child support, but those are more specific to your situation. The main thing to remember is that what you see is that initial average benefit amount isn't always what you'll actually get each month.
Right. Okay. So we've talked about how averages can be misleading and all these deductions to think about, but how can I get a more accurate idea of what my benefit might actually be?
That's where the Social Security Administration's online tools can really help. Have you ever heard of their retirement estimator?
Yeah, kind of, but I've never actually used it. What's so special about it?
It's a really cool tool. You can put in your personal info, like your earnings and when you think you'll retire.
Yeah.
And it gives you a personalized estimate of your benefit amount.
So I can like play around with different scenarios. Like what if I work a few more years?
Yeah.
Or claim benefits early and see how that changes my monthly payments.
Exactly. It's like a crystal ball for your Social Security. You can test out different things
Yeah.
and get a much clearer idea of what to expect.
Wow. So no more blindly trusting those averages.
And the best part is it's super easy to use. You can find the retirement estimator on the Social Security website.
All right. I'm definitely adding that to my to-do list. But what if I need help understanding all the options or like figuring out what the results mean?
You're not alone there. The Social Security Administration offers a bunch of resources. They have online publications, videos, And you can even talk to a representative on the phone.
So it's not like they just throw you into the deep end with all this stuff.
Nope, not at all. They have a whole support system to help you through it.
This is why I love doing these deep dives. We find all this hidden info that I would never have found myself. But even with all those resources, it's still kind of unsettling, right? I mean, we started by talking about those average benefit amounts. $1,976 for retirement and $5,580 for SSDI. And even those amounts, which we know aren't guaranteed, are making people worried about being financially secure in retirement.
Yeah, I get it. It really makes you think about the bigger picture of retirement planning.
Exactly. If those average benefits before deductions and everything are already worrying people, what does that say about how we plan for our financial futures?
It means we need to be proactive. We can't just assume Social Security will cover all our expenses in retirement. We need to be planning and saving, maybe thinking about other ways to make money, and really exploring all our options.
So it's not just about figuring out my Social Security benefit, it's about creating a whole retirement strategy.
Exactly. Social Security is meant to be a safety net, not your only income in retirement. It's just one piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so if Social Security is just one piece, what are the other pieces I need to think about?
Well, first off, you want to think about saving money. Through retirement plans like 401ks and IRAs.
That makes sense. But what if I'm not sure how much to save or where to invest it?
There are tons of resources out there, like financial advisors who can help you create a personalized plan based on your goals and how much risk you're comfortable with.
Okay, so financial advisors can help with investing. But what about those other income sources you mentioned? Like, what are some examples?
You could think about downsizing your home to free up some equity. Or maybe working part-time during retirement, or even starting a small business.
I like that. It's about having multiple streams of income instead of putting all your eggs in one basket.
Precisely. It's about diversifying your income.
Yeah.
And taking control of your financial future.
So we've talked about the retirement estimator, financial advisors, and having different income sources. What other resources or tools should people know about as they're planning for retirement? So you've talked about the retirement estimator, financial advisors, and have different income sources. What other resources or tools should people know about as they're planning for retirement?
One that people often overlook is your local area agency on aging. They offer a ton of services for older adults, including benefits counseling and help with financial planning.
Oh, that's great to know, especially for folks who maybe don't have a financial advisor.
Wow.
Or feel lost with all this stuff online.
Exactly. They can give you personalized guidance based on what you need.
Yeah.
And connect you with other helpful resources in your community.
So we've covered a lot today. We started with those average benefit amounts, but then we saw how important it is to do some personal planning and think about deductions, taxes, and different ways to make money. It's a lot to take in.
It is. But the main thing to remember is that you have more control over your financial future than you might realize. It all starts with knowing what's what and planning ahead. Don't wait until retirement sneaks up on you. Start looking into those resources now.
Yeah.
Do the math and make smart choices that'll help you live the retirement you want.
You know, it's funny. We started out feeling kind of nervous about those average benefit amounts, but now I actually feel more empowered. Like you said, knowledge is power.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's all about turning that anxiety into action. Retirement planning might not be the most fun thing in the world, but it's super important for your peace of mind and your financial well-being.
For sure. So if we could give our listeners one last piece of advice from this deep dive, what would it be?
Don't just rely on those average Social Security numbers. Take charge of your retirement planning. Use those resources. Figure out your own situation and make a plan that helps you live the retirement you've always dreamed of.
Great advice. It's all about taking action and being informed. And on that note, we hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and motivation to do just that.
Happy planning.